Boy, it felt like it took a long time to get here, but we did. Finally, a Friday afternoon, get you into that weekend groove together here on Afternoons Live. You know the rules. You send in what you want to hear at 35270. We'll play it for you between now and 5 o'clock. Broadcasting from the Gunderson studio. I want to thank them for sponsoring the studio. And, of course, that tax club I just told you, brought to you by the Eye Consultants of North Dakota. The phone lines will be open to you all day today, as always. Lady Studio line, you can call us at 237-5948. We're going to head down to St. Paul in just a little bit, get the latest for all you Minnesota listeners on what your legislature finally, after a lifetime, were able to come up with a compromise when it comes to the unemployment. So if you're a business owner, you're going to like that. And those hero checks that have been discussed for quite some time. Finally, some movement. Bill Werner, our friend and Capitol correspondent, will be joining us a little bit later on. Also, obviously, you know that there's a lot of music going on. I told you about that. One more addition to today's lineup is Mara Jorgensen, FargoUnderground.com. That's brought to you by the Boiler Room. So $25 in a gift card from us to you. That's coming up a little bit later on. I want to thank everybody that, quite frankly, spent all day with us yesterday. Coffee with KFGO down in Horace. Then all of a sudden coming over to the Hi-Ho last night for the draft. A lot of people hit up both places. I want to thank you for spending pretty much your entire day with us here on KFGO. That draft, visiting with Jack Michaels, Matt English, Derek Hansen, who were broadcasting right here during that entirety, that 7-9 stretch in which they're breaking things down. I gave you my thoughts on Carolina's pick. But all of it, that hype, the buildup, and you're thinking, okay, we're going to be able to squeeze in the Minnesota Vikings pick at number 12. I could almost hear you through the airwaves shouting when you found out that not only did they trade back, but they trade back within their division to the Detroit Lions. And what's quite frankly, I think, a questionable trade. For you Vikings fans out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on 35270. Do you applaud the move? I mean, you jump back to 32. You got 36 and somewhere in the 40s, I believe. I don't remember exactly, that you traded within the division to Detroit. It's one of those, was it worth it? There's people that were trying to convince me that, well, geez, that's just quite frankly showing a lot of disrespect to the Detroit Lions because you are sending that signal as though you're not really concerned about what they're able to do with the picks. One of those times, maybe, that's going to come back to bite you, isn't it? You're going to expect that eventually that team's going to rebuild in a fashion that they're going to be competitive. It's been a long time coming, but I know there's been a lot of buy-in from that team, from that organization, to their coach that's going to be entering his second year. I don't know. I thought it was a silly move. For all the hype, from all the expectations of Quasi with a new head coach as well, you think they're going to, no way they jump back, do they? They did. I'm just curious how you felt about it, because I can tell you from the reactions of my immediate circle of friends that are Vikings fans, they weren't happy about the move. So they were pretty vocal, but I'll hear from you at 35270. One thing that was new today, you've been hearing it through the KFGO News, and I was able to visit a little bit with Joel Heidkamp on News and Views today because Eyes of the Region are in Castleton, and they will be leading up through Monday, and we'll probably try to get a little bit more of those voices heard for you before that meeting, which you can't tell me you're envious of probably any one of those city council members in Castleton, knowing the heat that has been brought forward in regards to the soybean crushing plant that's being proposed. The latest addition that you've been hearing, as far as there has not been a lawsuit filed, but there has been basically that, you say a warning? I mean, it certainly seems like a warning when you've got a family that has attained a lawyer, and Josh Swanson from Vogel, who's obviously, heard it here with Swanee. He's a friend of mine. He's been on the show here. Didn't see that one coming. But that certainly is catching attention as well. But hearing that that now being in addition to what you heard earlier on this very program this week with Tharaldson Ethanol, things are just snowballing out there. And I certainly am hoping that the tensions simmer down. Building up to that Monday night vote and then after, because the one thing I am quite concerned about is the the neighbors being so angry at each other and not letting that thus settle and going forward. It's a small enough community to where, boy, I hope this doesn't linger for too long. But if you missed that conversation, you can go to kfgo.com, whether you want to listen back to our conversation from earlier this week or catch up on the latest from the news team about this attorney being attained by a family out there. Your thoughts at 35270. I'll come back to that. And all these rock requests that are in, I appreciate that on a Friday afternoon. We'll get you into the weekend in style together again. One hit wonders, one out on our poll. That's the theme today. You send those in, and we will play them for you. I'm Tyler Axedis, your host. Eric Johnson, and he's our producer. We're just getting started on Afternoons Live. Don't go anywhere.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Accent Kitchen and Bath, your custom bathroom and kitchen destination. Get started today.
Fargo-Moorhead, light rain and 45 degrees. I'm Paul Jurgens. Neighbors saw smoke coming from the window of a home at 503 1st Street Northwest in West Fargo. That was just after 12:30 this afternoon. They called 911. Fire Department Battalion Chief Joel Porter.
We got dispatched to a fire on a second floor of a home. When we arrived, we had smoke and fire coming out the bedroom window. Guys made an offensive attack. It was put out fairly quick, but there is a lot of smoke and some water damage in the home.
No people were home at the time, but a family dog was found safe. The cause of the fire isn't yet known. 45, this is KFGO News. .45, this is KFGO News. Ahead of a planned city council vote on a proposed soybean crushing plant west of Castleton, a Castleton couple have retained an attorney to express their concerns with truck traffic, odor, noise, dust, and other potential issues. Fargo lawyer Josh Swanson is representing Greg and Susan Kemple.
The purpose and intent of the letter is to inform the city council that should they approve the conditional use permit, that it's very likely that there would be lawsuits that would eventually follow once the plant is up and running and built. And we've seen that, the Smithfield, one of the biggest, if not the biggest pork producers in the country, they were just tagged with a multi-million-dollar jury verdict.
Swanson says future legal action would likely be against the developers of the plant and not the city of Castleton. The city council is set to consider a conditional use permit to allow construction of the plant on Monday night. Soybean growers associations in North Dakota, Minnesota are behind the proposal, along with Louisiana-based CGB Enterprises. It has received support from Governor Burgum, the State Department of Commerce, and State Ag Commissioner Doug Goring. The North Dakota Attorney General's office has again refused to get involved in a dispute over the ownership of the historic Bismarck-Mandan Rail Bridge, which BNSF Railway is planning to demolish. The nonprofit group Friends of the Rail Bridge believes the state owns the 139-year-old structure, which would require the State Historical Society to determine its historical significance, a decision that could stop demolition. State Senator Tracy Potter asked Attorney General Drew Wrigley for an opinion, but Wrigley declined. BNSF Railway, which plans to build a new bridge, has called the claim of state ownership absurd. The nonprofit group asked for an Attorney General's opinion earlier this year, but an Assistant Attorney General determined one was not needed. A North Dakota utility says it has now restored power to more than half of the 19,000 households knocked offline by a devastating blizzard last weekend. Many of those who remained in the dark were making do with generators. Carla Jean Falcon Greil and Philip Greil, who live near Williston, and relied on theirs to run their TV and a heater that goes in their bedroom at night. Montana Dakota Utility spokesman Mark Hansen says power was restored Wednesday night to Crosby. 3 more towns are expected to come back online by this morning, another by Sunday. Those towns accounting for about 205 customers. Zoll, Apum, and Hanks may not get power until May 6th. Minneapolis and St. Paul Public Schools are adding Juneteenth as a paid holiday. Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery in this country and became a federal holiday last year. The history of the Juneteenth holiday is not a required part of the state curriculum, but many teachers in the 2 districts say they are making the information part of their teachings. Flood watch through Sunday morning. Fargo-Moorhead, cloudy, breezy, areas of showers, scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, and maybe some areas of fog and drizzle. Near 52. 44 overnight, drizzle, rain, fog, scattered thunderstorms. Again, our overnight low 44 and then 48 tomorrow. Another good chance throughout the day of rain, drizzle, and fog, and a chance of thunderstorms. We have light rain. It's 45 degrees. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
It's a lot of head bopping, shoulders swinging going on in the
Lots of
studio.
bopping, baby.
Rusty's a bebopper,
Yeah, I like to bebop.
and Rusty is
Great
also
song.
our farm and ranch reporter.
Yeah, great song. Yeah.
One hit wonders.
Yeah, great song.
Aha.
Just a breakthrough video.
I know. An unusual video, but certainly put a stake in the ground of the early stages of music videos.
Aha. Are they from Norway?
Mm-hmm. I have no idea.
I think they are.
Okay. We'll do the Google on this beautiful broadband network that we have here.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
That was a segue for you. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, thank you. There's a Farm Bill listening session earlier today, Michigan State University, hosted by Debbie Stabenow, Michigan, and also ranking member John Bozeman of Arkansas. They were talking about the importance of rural broadband funding for the next Farm Bill and the accomplishments that they've seen so far.
The good news is we've got a lot of money in the pipeline, and it's going to take a while, to build this out. But it is a very doable thing, and it's something I appreciate you all bringing up to keep our feet to the fire. We've got all these problems going on all over the world and domestically. On the other hand, this is one that we can solve. So much of the technology that we depend on, whether it's climate or just being efficient on the farm, is dependent on being having that ability. So I just want to reassure you that we really are working very, very hard on it. And I think it is going to help us a great deal as we protect rural America going forward in the future.
Now, Tyler, as an elected official, did you ever work on rural broadband?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did. You know what? One thing in North Dakota, we have been a leg above the rest, and a lot of that goes to David Crothers, who's gone to us now with Broadband Association. He did great work out there. But yeah, when second session that I was out there, we had tried to get a revolving fund going. So for those municipalities out there, some of those people that couldn't, that last mile of fiber that needed to get there, they couldn't afford to do so. Unfortunately, yeah, there was not a lot of love in the committee for that one, so it didn't go anywhere. But now, lo and behold, I think Governor Burgum rolled out a similar proposal this last year here in North Dakota. I know that one was met with a little bit more fanfare because, well, I wasn't sponsoring that one. But, the work of, again, David Crothers, just great, down-to-earth guy. North Dakota's been ahead of the curve on this thing. So,
Yep.
But I know that there's people listening in South Dakota and Minnesota that are still needing, and there are still people in North Dakota that haven't got that connection there. So you're going through the Farm Bill, now that we got USDA Rural Development, we have Aaron Olban named as, the director of that here. So now we have a point person. So good. I hope they actually get more money into this so we can get this rolling out here.
Yeah. We can talk a little bit more about that listening session next hour, Tyler.
I will be here, and I
Okay.
will welcome you back then.
Sounds good.
All right, Rusty Offerson, if you can't wait till that next hour, you can go to kfgo.com. Just click on that agriculture tab. Congratulations to Brian D. They're going to Kansas, the band, that is, down in Shields Arena. I've got your tickets here for you. For everyone else that correctly guessed Schmitz, we'll do this again maybe next week. How's that sound? More requests coming into 35270 as well. One Hit Wonders is our theme on this Friday afternoon. You send them in, we'll play them as we get you to that 5 o'clock punch out right here on KFGO. Twin Cities, a visit with our friend and Capitol correspondent, Bill Warner, who typically we try to catch up with on Wednesdays, but when news is made, he's the person we turn to. He's been covering the Capitol out there for 30 years, so I appreciate taking a little bit of your time, Bill. How you doing on a Friday afternoon?
I'm doing okay. We're busy, I'll tell you that. No question about that, Tyler.
Yeah, well, time's ticking, brother. It's one of those things. Are they going to get a deal? And it turns out, lo and behold, that they might have actually struck gold here. What's the latest on this unemployment and heroes bill?
Yeah, they did. They got a deal. The legislative leaders got a deal yesterday, fairly early in the day is when it was announced, to refill the unemployment insurance fund that's been depleted by COVID, right, with all the unemployment insurance benefits being drawn by the workers. That will avoid a tax increase on businesses that would take effect April 30th. Now, some of the businesses have already paid the taxes in advance, and so they're working out in terms of crediting their accounts and those kind of things. But in addition to that, it would send COVID hero checks to 667,000 frontline workers in Minnesota. The thing is that the Democrats in the Minnesota House are not getting all they wanted on that. They wanted $1 billion for that, and if you do the math on that, that works out to a $1,500 COVID hero check per frontline worker for each of those 667,000 frontline workers. The Republicans in the Minnesota Senate would only agree to $500 million, so therefore the checks are going to be somewhere in that range of $750 per frontline worker in Minnesota for the 667,000 or so who qualify. That's the deal. It cleared the Minnesota Senate nearly unanimously, with some grousing by Democrats that frontline workers aren't getting nearly as much as the refilling of the unemployment insurance fund, which is $2.7 billion on that one. But it cleared unanimously. It's kind of an attitude of, well, better something than nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And that bill is going to, within minutes, they may have even started now, they're going to take that up on the House floor. Presumably it will clear that as well, that they did their homework and checked in with everybody. And if that being the case, the bill will then go to the governor, likely sometime today, and he is, by all indications, we anticipate he'll sign that.
Earlier in this process, which feels like a lifetime ago, so my memory isn't quite there, Bill, but I know one of the debates was who's included as a frontline worker. Did they skimp? Did they dial that back, or did at least the Democratic side get, I know they're not getting the dollar amount they want, but did they get the categories that they want? Yes,
they did. That portion of it was not scaled back, right? And so generally, I think the Democrats, based on what I can tell, are satisfied with the breadth of the checks, or the breadth of the group that's going to receive checks. But it's just a question of the amount, that they felt that it needed to be more than that. The Republicans say, well, this $2.7 billion, which is to refill the unemployment insurance trust fund, they say that businesses aren't making any money off of that. What they're doing is they're not getting a tax increase, and this benefits workers by beefing up that fund, by getting the fund back up to full strength, that if there's any sort of other economic downturn, heaven help us, that fund is at full strength to provide unemployment benefits to workers. So that's kind of their argument in this on the other side of it.
Messages are coming in at 35270, Bill, and I'm reading them cold, so I didn't proofread here or anything. But
sure.
Tyler, can you ask, are there any of the workers in the water waste area going to be included in the frontline worker payments? So this one's pretty specific about workers in the
that
water.
one I have not. I have to say I have not looked at the bill in that degree of detail.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, that one I cannot answer.
Yeah, well,
as much as I would like to.
It's also fresh right now. I mean, the agreement happened yesterday, and it's flying through today. So the urgency's there, and credit or not, the state of the state that Governor Walz had is just the other day saying we're not coming back if you guys don't get something done. And I don't know if that firm line in the sand, and kind of got people ready, because I'm sure that they've got campaigning on the mind. It's an election year. They want to have to go back to their district and say, look what we're able to accomplish. Here's why you got to send me back. So it seems like go ahead, Bill.
No, go ahead.
I was going
to say, whether the governor's deadline is, in fact, he says, hey, no special session right after if you're not done by May 23rd. There's been speculation about that at the Capitol. I think it's fair to say that some folks there feel that if, in fact, they're almost there at May 23rd, right, and it's clear that they're going to get it done and they just need a little extra time beyond that, folks are thinking, and again, wouldn't presume to speak for the governor, certainly on this, but they're thinking, well, maybe he would agree to something beyond that. That has happened before, where they're almost there and they need a couple extra days to actually dot the I's and cross the T's. But I think the governor was pretty clear; he's not going to let this whole thing drag out into into June or beyond. And I think he was pretty clear on that.
Well, I'm going to take this as a win for all sides here. I mean, it seems like, well, there's some people that aren't happy on this side or that side. And you know what? That's okay. At least there's progress made, that there's going to be something coming for our business and, quite frankly, those workers that were there, albeit I do think it could have been a little bit more. But I don't have a vote. I just have a voice on this airwave, Bill. Anything else that's going on?
What you're saying there, I think, is pretty much the attitude, okay? And that Republicans are very happy with this because the businesses don't get the tax increases, right? And Democrats are saying, well, at least we did get something. We got half of what we wanted in terms of dollar amount, and we're able to provide checks of some amount, $750 or so, to the group that is as broad as we originally had envisioned. So yeah, I think you characterize it pretty well there, Tyler, in terms of the attitude.
Well, Bill, I appreciate that. Is there anything else you want to get up before I let you go on this Friday afternoon?
Well, I think we're now to the crunch. Of course, the Senate or the House rather this afternoon is going to take up their public safety bill, which is going to do the official drawing of the line in the sand against the Senate Republicans' Get Tough on Crime package, whereas the House is stressing prevention measures. And so you have that. You have the tax plans that are competing, and all that is what's going to play out now over the remaining part of time of the legislative session, which, heaven help us, is only about in the 3-week mark. Remaining a little bit over 3 weeks, and so a lot starts happening, or maybe not happening between now and May 23rd, Tyler.
No, that's true. Well, what does and does not happen, we'll be relying on you to bring that to these airwaves. All right, Bill? You have a good weekend, my friend.
We'll chat. I will do that.
We'll chat again on Wednesday, all right?
Good deal. Okay, talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Take care.
Bet. You do the same. Bill Warner, Capitol correspondent. He's been covering St. Paul for 30 years about what's going on in the legislature, the best in the business down there. So we appreciate his time today. I'm going to get you this weather update from Tooth Tall Tom Schmansky. Rain, it's here. It's going to be staying here. You're going to want to be listening to this because, quite frankly, when you're hearing about potential flooding of some of these waterways, this is a place where you're going to want to keep it locked in. Now, Sean Mitchell, he is an artist. He's a musician. He's got one of these stages he's going to be taking on over in West Fargo on Sunday. We're going to tell you why you're going to want to stop over at Bar 9. That's all coming up and more here on Afternoons Live. We'll swing over and visit about West Fargo Acoustic Fest, Bar 9, the 10th annual. Sean Mitzel, he's taking the stage. He'll invite you all over there and tell you what you can expect right after this. I'm Tyler Axis. You get locked into KFGO Fargo. And we're going to get you to your weekend together right here. You send them in, we play them. That same text club at 35270. Rock Request Friday. We're playing one-hit wonders. If you send in something that catches our eye, we might play that even if it doesn't fit the category. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities for live music for you to go partake in this weekend right here. One of them is taking place over in West Fargo. It's something I've gone to for a very long time. It's Acoustic Fest. You got a number of talented local artists that get together at Bar 9 on Sunday, and they just play. And they play. And there's now 2 stages. It's the 10th annual Acoustic Fest. They've got specials. They got special talent. One of those, Sean Mitzel. Yeah, he's probably known to you if you've taken in some of that local talent here. He's going to tell you why you're going to want to get that on your calendar and join us in West Fargo on Sunday. In the meantime, I'll get you caught up with this KFGO News.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead. We have rain and 45 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens, near 52 for the high. Neighbors saw smoke coming from the window of a 2-story home at 503 1st Street Northwest in West Fargo. That was just after 12:30 this afternoon. Those neighbors called 911. Battalion Chief Joel Porter tells KFGO News the fire was coming out of a second-floor bedroom, and it was put out quickly. He says the damage was there was smoke and fire damage to the home. No one was home at the time, and a family dog was found safe. The cause of the fire is not yet known. The Fargo Fire Department, Sanford Ambulance, and the Salvation Army also responded. A Castleton couple has hired a lawyer to highlight their concerns with a proposed soybean crushing plant west of Castleton. Greg and Susan Campbell are raising a number of concerns. Soybean Processors Associations in Minnesota and North Dakota are behind the project, along with Louisiana-based CGB Enterprises. Attorney Josh Swanson of Fargo says the Campbells are concerned about the location of the plant, its effect on property values, and the potential for increased traffic, noise, light, and dust. Swanson says the Campbells wouldn't necessarily sue over the plant, but rather give notice that lawsuits, perhaps class action, are likely if the City Council approves a conditional use permit for the plant. The Castleton City Council is scheduled to vote on the permit Monday night. It has already been approved by the city's Planning and Zoning Board. The North Dakota Supreme Court has ruled that thousands of documents related to security during the construction of the heavily protested Dakota Access Pipeline are public and subject to the state's open records law. The decision ends a long dispute over whether the 16,000 documents are public, though it is still not clear when they will be released. The court gave pipeline developer Energy Transfer an opportunity to make a case with state regulators that some of the records are privileged company documents that should remain private. A North Dakota State University alumni group has established an endowment fund in honor of departing NDSU President Dean Brashadi. Organizers say the President Dean L. Brashadi Endowed Chair in Leadership will honor and support outstanding campus leaders who are advancing NDSU's mission. The fund was kept a secret until its unveiling at an NDSU Foundation event. Brashadi was named NDSU's 4th president in 2010. Last year, the Board of Higher Education voted not to renew his contract, citing leadership issues and declining enrollment. Brashadi's successor is Dr. David Cook. KFGO Weather Center forecast this afternoon, areas of showers, scattered thunderstorms, maybe some fog and drizzle mixed in with a high maybe near 52. 44 then overnight, areas of rain, drizzle, fog, scattered thunderstorms. More rain tomorrow, a chance of thunderstorms, rain, drizzle, fog, 48. 37 tomorrow night, 44 for Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy then. Scattered light rain showers, maybe mixed with some snow. That precipitation should end in the middle part of the day or Sunday afternoon. 45 with rain, Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
I'll let it get there for you by requesting. Not going to lie, I thought it was already coming up.
Oh, it takes a while.
If you show up to Bar 9 in West Fargo on Sunday, you could probably yell that to Sean Mitchell while he's on stage. Just say, hey, play that funky music, white boy. Hi, Sean. Welcome back.
How you doing? Break it down.
Yeah. And in fact, you've probably played that song before. I've seen you play a number of times. In fact, at Acoustic Fest.
I know that song.
Yeah, you're not isolated to one genre. That's for dang sure.
Try not to be.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's what I like. I like all kinds of music. So why not?
Yeah, why not dabble in all? And you do pretty damn good at each and every one. It's been a long time. I think the last time that I had you come on the show was, God, I think it was during the pandemic, because you and a number of other artists were, now relying because of your shows, you couldn't do them. So going online and doing that. Glad to have live music back to where we can attend, though.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I count my blessings on that because it's like, I never realized it, and the good weather hasn't even hit yet. So, I mean, like, people aren't even, it's like we're waiting for,
I know.
like, let's go.
Yeah. I can tell you from sitting in this studio and reading text messages when we have conversations that people have opinions, people are getting pretty tired of the weather. They're getting a little under, myself included. I'm not throwing shade at all you fine folks that listen to Afternoons Live because I've been there with you. We just need some of that sun. But, and having a funky tune to listen to on a Sunday afternoon is not bad either.
Not too bad because, you can turn on the wipers and sometimes the wipers go to the right rhythm of the song. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. This Sunday, though, is Bar 9.
Yes.
That's folks at
Acoustic Fest.
Acoustic Fest, the 10th annual. And I can tell you just from going there when it first started, back with our buddy Pat Tweeter, getting this thing rolling. And the fact that it's been going on for 10 years with all you artists coming together, encouraging each other, playing with each other on the stage. It's just such a fun time.
It is. And it's a good chance for me to get to see some people that I don't normally get to see.
Yeah.
So that's cool. As long as I don't show up too early because I play at 10:20.
Yeah.
I think that's right. 10:20. Yep. I'm on at 10:20.
Yeah,
so.
You have to be pacing yourself. There's a lot of fun that's happening outside the stage, too. And people wonder, well, why Sunday? Well, and I think you just kind of alluded to that. To get all you talented people together, it's tough to do so on any other day of the week because you're probably at a different location playing.
Trying to, go out there, play, get the gigs, play the music for the people, I guess. I think that's the main reason I do it.
As an artist, is it fun to be able to sit and watch what some of your fellow artists are doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one thing to go out to another gig to where, that crowd's there for you. They're all eyes on you, and now you get to be a presenter, but also an observer. Explain that to me through your lens.
Well, I guess I used to go out and see bands with my friends that were in bands, and we would go out and see bands years ago. Mm-hmm. We always, my friends from Dead Wall, we call it player hating. And we would go out and we'd just watch the bands and go, yeah, they didn't do that one as good as we did,
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Elaborate on that.
But everybody did that. It's just for fun. You know what I mean? It's so but no, we just go out there to see a person's different approach, their sound, how they're presenting them. I try to look at that, especially when the crowd's digging it. I'm like, the crowd's really digging this. This is like, try to take some notes a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to copy anybody, but I just want to be like, yeah,
this works.
They're doing it. Yeah.
Any given other day of the week, you could be playing in front of that same crowd. In this area, it's a large metro area. Well, there's people rolling their eyes at that. Not a large metro area, but it's still a small town feel. Where any place you go, you probably recognize somebody out there. Go ahead.
That's the fun part of Acoustic Fest too. Yeah. You just run into these people. You can just, hey man, how you doing? It's like you run into so many people that and it's like it's a good community. It's like it's a good feeling like that.
You mentioned one of your bands. How long have you been playing music here?
Since professionally?
Sure.
Since 1997.
All right, okay. I like that. Yes, that's 25 years, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, just keeping track there. So,
right.
So he's seasoned, he's weathered, he's been experienced, is what I'm trying to get at here. Sean Mitchell. Yeah. If you want to be direct. No, but I know that you've been on the scene for a long time in a variety of things. Just explain how you got into being, a professional musician, I suppose.
It's crazy, but I didn't start out to think about that really. Mm-hmm. I got into college and I met some guys, and some guys told me to show up at this jam, and I brought my 5150 half stack and my guitar, and I tried to play the songs that they knew, and I knew some of the songs that they did, and there's a guy sitting there, and he's just kind of sitting there looking at me, and he goes, And he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't jamming. He was just sitting there. And I went over and he talked to me after we got done jamming. He's like, hey, you want to join our band? And I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? Yeah. So we got together. We played. We were called Application for Amusement. And we did shows over at Moorhead State around there. And that was like, 97. Yeah. And then, so then these guys were in a country band that was like a road band called Lonesome Run. And I just learned that you could actually, they pay people money for that. And then, so they go, hey, this band's looking. So he was my roommate at the time. He's like, hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy. There's this band looking for a lead guitarist that was a professional band, and they were called the Boys of Summer. And a guy named Marcus Padilla, and I auditioned for those guys, and I got the gig. So I mean, I've just kind of kept going.
Well, I mean, obviously they had an eye for you. I mean, there's some guys sitting there watching you. I said, hey, there's something here. And now to continue doing it successfully for 25 years says a lot.
Got to answer the phone, answer the emails, that kind of thing. Put yourself out there, play as many gigs as you can. I mean, just do it.
One thing that when I've watched you play in particular, and again, I think this is going on at Bar 9 where they had an open stage, open mic type thing to where you were basically hosting, and somebody, if they wanted to come in, grab their guitar and play, you'd play along with them, and you'd have no idea necessarily what they're going to be playing. But you picked it up so damn quick and were able to play. That has stuck with me ever since I watched you do that on stage. Geez, I couldn't imagine the talent that takes you're sitting there, you're watching this random Joe Schmo that came off of 13th Avenue with his acoustic in, and you can play with a guy. What's the secret?
Time, practice, do jams. I've done tons of jams. I mean, I guess when you're young, especially if you're young and doing guitar, that's the time. Get after it. Yeah. I mean, they go, how do you do it? I don't know, but then meet people, be cool, get on stage with people.
I'm working on being cool every day, and I don't know if it's working out from 2 to 5.
I mean, cool. I don't necessarily mean cool or whatever. I just mean like be nice, and but the secret is just, I mean, I used to get thrown on stage with bands. Yeah. Like, I mean, they would go, hey, Mitzel, I know these guys. You should go up and play guitar with them. I'm like, I don't know any. And I handed this strange guitar, that's all hot and sweaty, because the guy's been playing all set. And he hands me his weird pick. I don't even know. It's like feels like a piece of coal or something. And I don't even know what I'm like. And I played like 3 notes. I was so scared to play anything. And I still played some stuff. And they pointed at me to take the lead,
Here you go.
And I'm like, all right.
And all of a sudden you're sweaty and hot, and you're like, oh, all eyes are on me. Right. Sean Mitzel's my guest. You're getting love in the text. You got more time for me? I want to come back and talk about this, about acoustic versus your electric, all that. So stick around. Sean Mitzel's my guest. Acoustic Fest, the 10th annual. It's going on this Sunday over at Bar 9. We'll talk with him a little bit later on. You can send in your thoughts. Sean is amazing, for example. Comes in at 35270. You got it locked into Afternoons Live. I'm Tyler Axis, your host, and this is KFGO Fargo. Spirit in the Sky by Norman, because we ain't got too much time left with Sean Mitz, who's in studio. Here's some messages for you, all right? Sean Mitz is going to be playing over at Acoustic Fest, the 10th annual in Bar 9. Tyler, I believe that I went to Sean, I think I'm reading this as it came in, so I'm just reading.
Okay.
I believe that I went to Sean's first Metallica concert with him. Great musician, but absolutely awesome guy. Another one. Tyler, bring up Name That Tune. Well, look at you. You brought your guitar. So how about we do a little bit of that Name That Tune, which is something that you do at your shows. Typically,
I do.
Yeah, at your acoustic sets.
I mean, it depends on if it's ready for it.
If the crowd's ready for it.
It's went really terribly a few times actually too. So
Well, trust me, I've turned this microphone on and I'm like, I've got 2.5 hours left because this has gone terribly in the first half hour. We've all been there.
Well, anyways, but yeah, well, if we're gonna do it, we got to get your producer in on it too. I think.
Okay,
I'm in.
Eric Johnson's my producer for those just Sean Mitchell, my guest. I'm Tyler Axis.
I may or may not have known Sean for basically my whole life.
And
a hunter boy, so.
Sorry for calling you producer.
That's okay.
That's right. I've called him a lot worse between these hours.
I don't remember how old you were, Shad, but when you got on stage at our barn and played Crazy Train with Pure Country, which that sounds like a Mad Lib sentence, but it happened.
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. That was also a very sweaty guitar. Yeah.
Just meant they were having fun, and that's all we wanted, right?
Okay, you guys want to do it?
Okay, well, the audience is asking to say, bring up, Name That Tune. We've brought it up. Do your thing, Sean.
So we're gonna do Name That Tune. Name that tune. Right, Name That Tune is easy. It's a game. All you have to do is name the tune. You don't have to name the artist or the album or anything else or the genre. You name the tune, all right? The name of the song, all right? And you can win awesome things in your life. Here we go, and we're going to do this KFGO edition, all right, in studio here, Tyler Axness and Eric. Name that tune. First song.
Metallica.
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman.
You can name the band if you want.
Name that tune. All right,
he
next
just
one.
went through the rules.
Here we go.
We can split that.
Yeah, you got to name the song. Okay, next one.
Stairway to Heaven.
The Stairway to Heaven is correct. Name that tune.
Iron Man.
Oh, yes.
Hey, let him pluck a string first.
Name that tune.
There's people management's like, what is going on in the KFGO studio? Somebody go shut this down.
We'll do one more. All right, here we go. This is gonna be. Here we go. This is the last one. Name that tune.
I got it. Do you have it?
But I can't think of the name of it. I'm terrible at this all of a sudden.
You want to start singing along?
It's early morning, the sun comes out. This night was
I'll let the professional do it.
That went too long. That was Rocky.
Rocky
That was
like a
Rocky like a
hurricane.
hurricane. Yeah, here you go. Good job, guys. Playing
All right.
that too.
You can catch this on Sunday over at Bar 9 in West Fargo. Sean, I tell you what, you're coming back now. We're doing this on a regular basis.
Okay,
all right?
okay.
Sean Mitchell, my guest, again on Sunday, Bar 9. You can get on over there. I think it starts at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, like 2:20 is the first person that's on, and it goes till like at least 11. So it's like music.
All day.
All day.
2 stages.
Two stages.
You're on later on in the evening.
And there's no breaks in between acts. It's just music all day.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Oh, people are texting in exactly what the names of the songs
cool,
were. So,
okay.
That's what I'm saying. We're doing this again.
How quick is that? Maybe we could make it like, a little thing.
We have
I
a
don't know.
7-second delay, and just in case I cuss into this microphone.
Okay.
Keep that in mind when you come back as well.
Okay.
All right. A lot of fun, man. That was fun. We'll do it again.
Thank you.
Again, this Sunday, you can go over and catch that live and in person. Sean Mitchell plus like 20 other local artists can be taking the stage. I got to get you caught up with KFGO News when we come back. Mara Jorgensen, FargoUnderground.com will tell you what's going on in downtown Fargo. That's brought to you by the Boiler Room. I'm Tyler Axis. Don't go anywhere.
News weather this hour brought to you by Fargo Elam Assisted Living, formerly Pioneer House, offering you the independence of your own apartment with the convenience of extra assistance when needed.
Fargo-Moorhead, we still have rain, 46. I'm Paul Jurgens. Governor Burgum has signed an executive order waiving hours of service requirements to allow truckers, contractors, and rural electric cooperative workers to enter North Dakota to help with the restoration of electricity to homes and businesses still without power from last weekend's winter storm. Most of the issues are in the northwestern part of the state. The waiver will be in effect for 30 days. Neighbors saw smoke coming from the window of a home at 503 First Street Northwest in West Fargo today. It was just after 12:30 this afternoon. They called 911. Fire Department Battalion Chief Joel Porter.
We got dispatched to a fire on a second floor of a home. When we arrived, we had smoke and fire coming out the bedroom window. Guys made an offensive attack. It was put out fairly quick, but there is a lot of smoke and some water damage in the home.
No people were in that home at the time, but a family dog was found safe. The cause of the fire isn't yet known. 46 degrees. This is KFGO News. Rain 46, this is KFGO News. Ahead of a planned city council vote on a proposed soybean crushing plant west of Castleton, a Castleton couple have retained an attorney to express their concerns with truck traffic, odor, noise, dust, and other potential issues. Fargo lawyer Josh Swanson is representing Greg and Susan Kemple.
The purpose and intent of the letter is to inform the city council that should they approve the conditional use permit, that it's very likely that there would be lawsuits that would eventually follow once the plant is up and running and built. And we've seen that, the Smithfield, one of the biggest, if not the biggest pork producers in the country, they were just tagged with a multi-million-dollar jury verdict.
Swanson says future legal action would likely be against the developers of the plant, not the city of Castleton. The city council is set to consider a conditional use permit to allow construction of the plant on Monday night. State agents are investigating a deadly shooting by a sheriff's deputy and a state trooper in Morrison County in central Minnesota. Members of the West Central Drug Task Force attempted to stop a car about 13 miles south of Little Falls. Officials have not yet said what caused the trooper and a deputy from the Ottertail County Sheriff's Office to fire their guns. A man in the car was killed and a second person inside was injured. Agents from the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are investigating. A handgun was recovered at the scene. Minneapolis-based Target Corporation has agreed to pay $5 million to settle a California lawsuit alleging the chain changed prices on its mobile app after customers entered stores. The San Diego County District Attorney's Office filed the lawsuit in February. The lawsuit claimed Target used a technology known as geofencing that enables businesses to identify customers' locations and make their apps adapt to that location. The retailer did not clearly disclose to customers where some items could be purchased for the advertised price, either online or in the store. The settlement bans Target from using the technology to raise prices. Fargo-Moorhead flood watch through Sunday morning. Cloudy this afternoon. Areas of showers, some scattered thunderstorms, some patchy fog and drizzle. And we may see a high of 52 yet, a 44 then overnight. Rain, drizzle, fog, scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow, breezy areas of rain, drizzle, fog, and meteorologist Tom Shamansky has a chance of thunderstorms in his forecast for tomorrow. High of 48. We have rain. It's 46. Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
Okay, I'll admit, I was pushing hard for power ballads all week and being that the category we play today, but kind of digging the one hits today. The one hit wonders, you did well in your voting earlier this week. I applaud you as the listeners for choosing. Because when you can hear Brandy, Rusty Homerson.
Yes.
Had to make sure I shut the microphone off.
Didn't want to
before
get caught doing the doo-doo.
Yeah.
This is how you get into a weekend.
Yeah, that's what we all know that your work's done, let's be honest. You're not working hard, and I'm fine with that. You can accuse me of not working very hard either right now, but that's fine. I own it in front of all of you on a Friday afternoon. We're going to get you to that 5 o'clock punch-out. Jack Sunday will be a very truncated drive because Twins baseball starts at 5:30. Chris Atterbury, our friend and studio host, will be taking over these airwaves. So
they are on quite the winning streak, too.
I think the longest winning streak they've had since 2011.
Really?
I think so.
Whoa.
I know. It's 11 years ago. It's been a long time.
Is it too soon to get our hopes up?
Minnesota sports, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely it is. Did you watch the draft last night, or did you wait for? Well, I know you're over at Hi-Ho.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when they traded down for the Minnesota? Of which you're a fan?
Well, we left a little bit early. I was listening on the radio as that all went down.
As they were hyping up Derek Hansen, Matt English, and Jack Michaels. Oh yeah,
they did great coverage, by the way.
Yeah, they did
great coverage. Those guys so smart when it comes to the draft, the intricacies, all the things and the pieces in motion. They did a great job. And kind of dumbfounded, I would say.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
I had some up there had chosen correctly who was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like 7 of 8 by the time I got done visiting with him. So, guys,
really?
Steel Trap. Yeah, he knows his things.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
The guy knows his stuff.
You know your things when it comes to the latest on the Farm Bill.
Oh, a little bit here and there. Yeah. They had a Farm Bill listening session in Michigan today, and there are a lot of challenges ahead, Tyler. We've been talking about it all week, and we'll be talking about it for many months, I'm sure. But Ranking Member John Bozeman of Arkansas said several challenges do lay ahead.
As we kick off this process, we are in an unprecedented time to write a farm bill. Just think about the issues that we are confronting. They truly are daunting. A receding pandemic, a brutal war in the breadbasket of Europe, record high inflation, record high fertilizer and input costs, high crop prices, high food costs, labor shortages, drought, delayed planning, and transportation and supply chain bottlenecks. The pandemic and Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine have exposed the vulnerabilities of our domestic and international supply chains. This requires us to rethink the nature of our relationships across the globe, strengthening bonds with countries who share similar values, and minimize reliance on those who violate norms.
Can we bring Sean back?
Yeah.
Or name that tune?
That was a very soft-spoken John Bozeman out of Arkansas.
Yep. There's a lot of things that lawmakers have to sort through over the next year and a half, Tyler. And, no sugarcoating it. It's not going to be an easy path.
No, we've heard that through the audio that you and I discussed on, I believe that was Wednesday, that there's already that split going on. And, of course, we can't find even the most basic things to agree upon out in Washington, this one being the latest.
Yep. The Farm Bill is usually a very bipartisan piece of legislation. We will see how this unfolds.
Well, and I expect you to be breaking that down for us.
Absolutely.
No pressure, my friend.
Yep, no pressure.
You have a good weekend.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
I'll try my best. Rusty Halverson.
Name that too.
We're gonna do that's gonna be a regular bit here. Sean already agreed to it. Rusty Halverson, you can take part in that if you want.
I would love to.
You would? Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna let you get out of here. You go enjoy that weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Rusty Halverson, Sarah Heinrich, multi-award-winning journalist of agriculture. If you can't wait till Monday to hear back from him, you just go to KFGO, click on that agriculture tab to learn more. CBS National News will get you all you need to know nationally speaking. When we come back, Maren Jorgensen, FargoUnderground.com. You can go there, check out all the latest downtown Fargo happenings. She'll tell you about this weekend, and that is brought to you by the Boiler Room. So I've got $25 in a gift card awaiting one of you right after this. You got $25 at the Boiler Room. Gift card from us to you. Get on down there. Have a good time, whether it's this weekend or any other point in the week. Right on Broadway is where you can find them. Your messages at 35270. You want to send them in, we'll get them. We got another hour with you. Maybe we can take a couple more requests. I have no idea. Maybe we're already full. I got a shoulder shrug. That means he doesn't know either. He meaning Eric Johnson. I'm Tyler Axis, your host. You're listening to Afternoons Live at KFGO. Final hour, here's what's in store for you. Gone Outdoors with Scott Brewer, Kyle Agri. That's airing at 11 a.m. We'll give you a preview today at 4 p.m. We'll be visiting with Scott Brewer. He'll let you know about what you can expect, and plus just what's going on in the great outdoors that is the upper Midwest. Also, we've been teasing about a great tribute to John Prine tonight at the Fargo Brewing Company. Pat Leonard's, he's part of that. He's throwing it. He's going to be a part of the show right here to tell you about why you're going to want to go. $12 at the door. I'm Tyler Axis. You got elected to KFGO Fargo. Stick around. Couple of hours closer to having our couple of days off here on Afternoons Live. Final hour for the week getting underway. We'll check in with Paul Juergens in that KFGO News Center. Now, on Fridays, we typically avoid those heavy issues. Not last week, if you're listening. Boy, were we at each other last week. But starting next week, because we're getting and inching closer to that June election, those local elections, Eric's going to be reaching out, getting those candidates lined up. And for those that have reached out, appreciate it. He'll be calling. You just pick up when he does. But I'm getting a lot of messages sent in about flyers that are already going on, television ads already going on. And I've got a pretty good relationship with Shannon Roars-Jones. She's a representative, has been for 6 years. But there's a lot of money that's going to be going in. You can point to probably Doug Burgum about some of this. But it's going to be a tough sell. And I'll ask her about this, and she's probably listening right now. If all your flyers are saying, not a career politician, while you're a representative for 6 years, and bringing an outsider's voice, we'll talk about that probably on Monday. We'll get you lined up, and we'll have a fun time with that a little bit later on. But here's what's coming up. KFGO News, then we'll be visiting Scott Brewer, Gone Outdoors. That's tomorrow. We'll get a preview of that right here next.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead, rain and 46 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens. Neighbors saw smoke coming from the window of a two-story home at 503 First Street Northwest in West Fargo this afternoon. It was about 12:30. They called 911. Battalion Chief Joe Porter says that fire was coming out of a second-floor bedroom, and it was put out quickly. He says there was significant smoke and fire damage to the home, though. No one was home at the time. A family dog was found safe. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The Fargo Fire Department, Sanford Ambulance, and the Salvation Army also responded. Ahead of a planned city council vote on a proposed soybean crushing plant west of Castleton, a Castleton couple have retained an attorney to express their concerns with truck traffic, odor, noise, dust, and other potential issues. Fargo lawyer Josh Swanson is representing Greg and Susan Kemple.
The purpose and intent of the letter is to inform the city council that should they approve the conditional use permit, that it's very likely that there would be lawsuits that would eventually follow once the plant is up and running and built. And we've seen that, the Smithfield, one of the biggest, if not the biggest pork producers in the country, they were just tagged with a multi-million-dollar jury verdict.
Swanson says future legal action would likely be against the developers in the plant and not the city of Castleton. The city council is set to consider a conditional use permit to allow construction of the plant on Monday night. Soybean Growers Associations in North Dakota, Minnesota are behind the proposal, along with Louisiana-based CGB Enterprises. It has received support from Governor Burgum, the State Department of Commerce, and State Ag Commissioner Doug Goring. Governor Burgum has signed an executive order waiving hours of service requirements to allow truck drivers, contractors, and rural electric co-op workers to enter North Dakota to help with the restoration of electricity to homes and businesses still without power from last weekend's winter storm. Most of the issues are in the northwestern part of the state. The waiver will be in effect for 30 days. Investigators in Crow Wing County say a man is under arrest after a woman was found dead north of Brainerd, Minnesota. Sheriff's deputies discovered the victim in a home. A man at the scene was arrested. Sheriff Scott Goddard says he does not believe there's any danger to the community. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is assisting with the investigation. Fargo-Moorhead will see areas of rain, drizzle, fog continuing tonight, maybe some scattered thunderstorms as well. A low of about 44. Tomorrow, 48. Rain, drizzle, fog, and another thunderstorm chance. 48 for the afternoon high. 37 tomorrow night. Again, rain, drizzle, fog. 44 the high on Sunday. A mostly cloudy day and windy. Scattered light showers, maybe mixed with some snow. The snow rain should end by the middle part of the day or Sunday afternoon. 50 Monday, mostly cloudy, and mid-50s, partly sunny Tuesday. Fargo-Moorhead, rain at 46. Paul Juergens, News Radio, KFGO.
I'm going to take issue with people saying Vanilla Ice is a one-hit wonder. Have you not watched the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That was a banger of a song, whose title I can't remember. But it was a good song, I do assure you.
Was it called Too Cold?
No. It was not called Too Cold. Somebody out there knows. You're a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Super Shredder? What was the song that Vanilla Ice played? Maybe our next guest knows. I'm going to get to him right now. Scott Brewer, part of the God Outdoors duo. You can catch him here every Saturday at 11. We give a preview every Friday right now. Scott, were you a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and keep me out of your shenanigans.
Okay, that's fair. That's not why I called. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Doing very well.
It's good to hear. So we're playing Vanilla Ice. There's been some ice out there a little bit longer than what we're hoping on some of those lakes because it's been so dang cold. What's the latest out there? What have you been up to lately?
Well, this rain that we're getting today and we're going to get tomorrow, a lot of people are going to turn their nose up at it. But it's going to help get rid of the ice, which is good.
Yeah.
The ice is starting to go off on some of the lakes. So I think next week we're going to hear a lot of reports of lakes that are now becoming ice-free. Definitely the week after for sure. So most lakes, I think, in Minnesota should be clear by opener. So we're finally getting closer, although I don't know if I can necessarily say spring is here. Maybe spring has finally came.
I know.
But I think we're going to end up jumping right into summer here before too long.
It wasn't too many years ago that exact scenario played out where we had a late winter. It felt like that just wasn't going to break. And all of a sudden the next day or the next week, it was 85 degrees. And I know that I'm ready for that. I know there's a lot of people ready for that as well, but it might not be here for quite some time if I've been listening to Too Tall Tom. We were joking around about the opener in Minnesota if you're going to be, bringing out the buckets and sitting on the ice because it's been taking so long. But I think you're right. This rain, and albeit it's kind of gloomy, I mean, we're still hitting 50 degrees, and throughout this weekend, we're still going to be close to 40 at least. So progress being made is what I can say. Yeah,
we're getting closer, in the rain. Yeah, I don't know at this point if we necessarily need the moisture anymore.
Yeah.
This last month has given us a lot of it. No matter where you're at in the listing area, I think everybody's sitting pretty good on moisture. But I do know that the lakes last fall were way, way, way down. And every little bit's going to help that, and it's going to get them back up to hopefully closer to normal levels, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, I think you're right. With that 3-year drought that we had been, facing, the fact that, I'm from the Devil's Lake area, and being up there, they'd talked about how many feet over the last few years they've dropped. They're expecting to add at least 2 back on during this spring. So I'm happy for that. I think the outdoorsmen and women will be happy for that as well when we finally are getting a chance to get on the water. But there's still so much other things going on. Last week, I know you and Kyle were out, you're hunting turkey with your kids. Did you have any luck?
We had minimal success. We did have a little bit of success. Kyle's son, Tony, it was his first time turkey hunting. He's an avid bow hunter, and he chose to sit in a blind with his bow.
Mm-hmm.
And he harvested one, his first one ever. So that was super cool, being able to be there for that and be a part of that. The other 3 of us, we struck out, but we had, I'm not going to say we necessarily had opportunities. We did see some birds, but with the 25 to 50 mile an hour winds we had the entire weekend, it really kept movement at a bare minimum for the birds, which I don't blame.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be out there either in that kind of stuff. So
that's
the way it is.
Yeah. Speaking from just my own personal, I wasn't doing a whole lot last weekend either because of that wind. I wasn't going outdoors, and I'm sure that they were probably just hanging out in those shelter belts down there, just trying to let her pass. And unfortunately, in this neck of the woods, it's always here. It's always windy, but I'm glad at least. It's about the experience, right? I mean, you had people that were with you, your children, your sons that were out there for their first time, their first hunt, and that's a cool story there, Scott.
Yeah, the experience was awesome. So you could say that the hunting was very good. Mm-hmm. The killing, shooting, harvesting wasn't nearly as good, but that's fine because the hunt is good. It's like going out fishing. As long as the fishing is good, the catching really doesn't necessarily matter. It's just a bonus. So yeah, no, it was a very good weekend. But probably the biggest takeaway from the whole weekend for us is this is only mine and Kyle's third year of turkey hunting, and every year we learn so much more. So it was a great learning opportunity for us, and we're excited to take what we've learned into next year's season.
Well, that's all part of the process. You learn from the experience of being out there. I'm curious, what's coming up? You got 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning, Gone Outdoors. What can we expect?
Yeah, we're going to chat with Jaden Thomas. He is one of the Shields fishing managers. We've had him on the show before a few times. He's a very good local tournament angler and a student of fishing. But we're going to chat because Fargo Fish Fest is back again next coming weekend. They're going to have the big tent in the parking lot and all kinds of sales and industry reps and all that there. So we'll chat with him a little bit. We'll head down to Big Stone, chat with Tanner Hart. Tanner is now managing Artie's Bait and Tackle while Artie is off doing other things. So we're going to chat with them about what it's like on Big Stone. I believe they've had ice off for like 3 weeks now. So it's good for them. And then a new guest, Camden Glade. He is a fisheries research specialist for Bemidji State University, and we're going to talk to him about a study. They're in the third year of a 4-year study, Bemidji State and a few other organizations, about sampling the diets of muskies. You know, they got all these different lakes that have different forage in them, and they're trying to figure out what muskies eat. You know, and they're doing that in interesting ways because obviously you don't just flay a muskie and see what's in its belly.
Right.
So we're going to find out how they do it and find out what some of the results are of this study that they've been doing. So I'm really excited to chat with them.
Yeah, you don't exactly just fill up a plate of greens and see which one they want to nibble on either. I'd be curious how the process is as well, Scott.
Exactly.
Scott, I always appreciate your time, my friend. We're going to be listening at 11 o'clock tomorrow. You have a great weekend. We'll chat again soon, all right?
Yeah, you guys have a great Friday.
All right, we'll try my best, my friend. You take care. Scott Brewer, Kyle Eggery, they're Gone Outdoors. They're on these very airwaves every Saturday at 11 o'clock. We give you a preview Fridays at 4 o'clock. Okay, I get it. It's Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice. I'm hoping that maybe we can pull that up. I'm getting a nod of approval. We will confirm that I am right, that Vanilla Ice is not a one-hit wonder, but in fact a two-hit phenomenon in the early 90s. I'm Tyler Axis. This is Afternoons Live on KFGO. We absolutely had that at
Yeah.
our house. Probably in a basement for a long time collecting dust. I'm probably not supposed to talk about ads that run on these airwaves. But when my producer produces his own ad, I think I'm given a grace period that I could. Okay, you just had a McDonald's ad that you had to cut.
Yep.
Why did you select the most epic action movie music for that?
Because it's a short ad. It's got to sound big. It's got to sound like a movie
It
trailer.
sounded
man.
like you had a Big Mac bag in your hand and you were walking away from an explosion behind you
the
without
slow
looking.
walk. The slow walk. Talking about some new drinks that they
How'd
have.
that script go? Because it caught my
I don't
attention.
know. I don't know. It was about their new drinks. I think
New
there was like a blue
McDonald's.
raspberry Fanta, something or other.
In a world with new drinks and McDonald's.
In a world.
237. Is it Friday afternoon? Things are getting kind of crazy in here. 237-5948, Laney's studio line. You can also text me, as many of you were choosing to do about the Go Ninja Go. Yeah, Ninja Up, thank you for all of that. I don't know how I couldn't put that together on my own, but I appreciate it. Tyler, the lesser-known third Turtles movie was Turtles in Time. Oh, it's known, and I wish I could forget it, because it is
Is that the one where they go
awful.
back to feudal Japan, samurai Japan?
Yes, they go back in time. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
just the concept of mutant turtles is not
Have you
unusual
seen-
enough. It's the fact that they traveled back in time.
I don't know if it's from the actual film. It may have been a behind-the-scenes photo while they were
Yes.
filming.
I already know what you're saying,
Where
'cause-
you could zoom in on one of their mouths and you
Yeah.
could see the actor inside it.
It's haunting. If you have a young child at home, do not look for that photo if they're in your presence, because it will scar you for quite those big
Just
suits.
white eyes peering out of the mouth of a turtle.
Yeah, you can't miss it if you look it up online. Here's what's coming up. Final half hour. Going to be underway in just a little bit. You're probably saying thank you because I just want to have the twins take over these airwaves. Don't worry. You just have to wait till 5:30. Chris Atterbury, our friend and studio host. I think I'm going to get to go play catch with him on Target Field in like a week from Monday. I'm hoping. My fingers are crossed. I'll be broadcasting from Target Field a little bit later on this week. They're not going to be there. I mean, the twins aren't broadcast or they're not playing that Monday, but hopefully we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on.
Get to see how fancy their studio is there.
Perhaps see how weak my arm is when I'm throwing pitches and how slow I am at the mound and how my knees are going to explode when I'm fielding grounders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring some of that very fun video back for you if I'm allowed to do
Just
that here.
treat it like when you're on the tee box at any golf course. Swing as hard as you can. See what happens.
Yeah, close my eyes and swing for those fences. But that's coming up a little bit. Right after this, there's been an event we've been teasing. Fargo Brewing, ever since they created this edition of having the barbershop, having the concert hall at that convenient location that's on University and 7th, they've been having just great events there. And one of those will be taking place tonight. You've been hearing, in fact, we touched on it twice, one with Fargo Underground and one teasing you earlier on about the show. John Prine lost to us now. In fact, I think when that news broke, pretty much a whole hour of our show is talking about John Prine music and playing that for you. Well, you can take that in tonight for just $12 at the door at the Fargo Brewing Company with local talent. Pat Leonard is an individual that has been around the scene. You've heard him here on this show before. You know, earlier we had Sean Mitchell on, and we've had Pat Leonard on before as well, because during that pandemic, I know that they were a couple of the acts well known in this area. Well, they couldn't be performing for you. Not in person, not at an establishment, so they took online. And I know that we had them on to explain how you can watch in real time and then how you can make a donation so they could get by that period in which we couldn't have live music. Thankfully, that little period, it's gone. You can go take that in. Sunday, I told you about that one. We'll tell you about tonight and how you can get on down there and take in some John Prine music with not only him, but other members of the local music scene. That's coming up. We'll see what's coming up on the Drive Time News. Jack Sunday, truncated version from 5 to 5:30, because, again, tonight you got the Timberwolves. I think the NFL draft is back underway. As of right now, I haven't followed long right now, but we'll tell you where maybe the Vikings end up going with, I think there are 2 picks in this round. In the meantime, I'll get you caught up with KFGO News. Paul Jurgens will get you all the latest local headlines. Then we'll come back with Pat Leonard's right after this. I'm Tyler Axis. You got it locked into Afternoons Live, whether that's on 790 AM, 94.1, or 104.7 FM, KFGO.
News and weather this hour brought to you by Ottertail Power Company, positively impacting communities they serve for more than a century.
Fargo-Moorhead rain and 46. I'm Paul Jurgens. Neighbors saw smoke coming from the window of a two-story home this afternoon at 503 First Street Northwest in West Fargo. That was just after 12:30. They called 911. Battalion Chief Joe Porter says the fire was coming out of a second-floor bedroom. It was put out quickly. Porter says there was significant smoke and fire damage to the home. No one was home at the time. A family dog was found safe. The cause of the fire is not yet known. The Fargo Fire Department, Sanford Ambulance, and the Salvation Army also responded. A Castleton couple has hired a lawyer to highlight their concerns with a proposed soybean crushing plant west of Castleton. Greg and Susan Campbell are raising a number of concerns. The Soybean Processors Associations in Minnesota and North Dakota are behind the project, along with Louisiana-based CGB Enterprises. Attorney Josh Swanson of Fargo is representing the Campbells.
Concerns of the Campbells are similar to concerns that have been expressed by other residents with respect to the location of the facility and how it might impact both their quality of life and their property, including property value. The increased traffic, the noise, light, dust that could blow into town and on their property.
Swanson says the letter is not necessarily a threat that the Campbells would sue over the plant, but rather a notice that lawsuits, perhaps class action, are likely if the City Council approves a conditional use permit for the plant. The City Council is expected to vote on the permit Monday night. It has already been approved by the city's Planning and Zoning Board. Rain, it's 46. This is KFGO News. $46. This is KFGO News. State agents are investigating a deadly shooting by a sheriff's deputy and a state trooper in Morrison County in central Minnesota. It happened last evening. Members of the West Central Drug Task Force attempted to stop a car about 13 miles south of Little Falls. Officials have still not said what caused the trooper and a deputy from the Ottertail County Sheriff's Office to fire their guns. A man in the vehicle was killed. A second person inside was injured. That person's condition has not been released. Agents from the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are investigating. A handgun was recovered at the scene. Governor Burgum has signed an executive order waiving hours of service requirements to allow truck drivers, contractors, and rural electric cooperative workers to enter North Dakota to help with the restoration of electricity to homes and businesses still without power from last weekend's winter storm. Most of the issues are in the northwestern part of the state. The North Dakota Attorney General's office has again refused to get involved in a dispute over the ownership of the historic Bismarck-Mandan Rail Bridge, which BNSF Railway is planning to demolish. The nonprofit group, Friends of the Rail Bridge, believes the state owns the 139-year-old structure, which would require the State Historical Society to determine its historical significance, a decision that could stop demolition. State Senator Tracy Potter asked Attorney General Drew Wrigley for an opinion, but Wrigley declined. BNSF Railway, which plans to build a new bridge, has called the claim of state ownership absurd. Fargo-Moorhead flood watch through Sunday morning. This afternoon, low 50s perhaps. We've been in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s, and it looks like that may be our highs for the day. And tonight, 44, breezy, areas of rain, drizzle, fog, maybe some scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow, 48, breezy, areas of rain, drizzle, fog once again, with another chance of thunderstorms. Tomorrow night, near 37, windy, areas of rain, drizzle, fog once again. Light snow, perhaps, may mix in later on. 44 then Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, scattered showers, maybe mixed with a little snow. The snow and or rain should end by midday or afternoon. Again, Sunday's high 44, 50, clouds Monday, 55, partly sunny Tuesday. Rain at 46, Paul Jurgens, News Radio, KFGO.
25 minutes until that 5 o'clock punch out. We'll get you there. We're getting there together here on Afternoons Live. Here's what's coming up. CBS National News. We'll get you all the latest local, or national headlines, pardon me. We just got you the local. Paul Jurgens took care of that. Pat Leonard, he is going to be a part of the John Prine tribute that's taking place tonight, Fargo Brewing. He's going to tell you why you want to get up there, spend your $12, have a cold one, and watch that tribute. He's next right here on KFGO. A tribute to John Prine is taking place tonight. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Show starts at 8 o'clock, and that's going to be at the Fargo Brewing. And you know what? It's one of the main people throwing this whole thing for you. Pat Leonard of the Pat Leonard's Band joining us here on KFGO. Pat, welcome back to Afternoons Live, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know you're busy getting set up, but you know what? This is one of the things. There's people driving all the way in from Bismarck or this whole area coming in.
Wow.
So there's some excitement out there, man.
Yeah, I just got some ticket count, and we got some tickets left, boy, but they're not as many as I thought. So there's a buzz.
Well, there is. Well, you know what, John Prine, the day that John Prine passed, we came in here, and I was surprised how long people just wanted to talk about him, his music. I mean, he certainly captivated people's attention across his area, and you know what, you're going to be doing that together with some of your friends up there, explaining to people what they can expect if they're fortunate enough to get up there. 21 plus, but if you look, ticket price is $12, can't go wrong.
$12.
Yeah.
Yep, $12 prices. So you're gonna get some guys who are some of the best musical friends, and we've been playing together collectively for decades, and we're all just John Prine lovers, just like everybody else is, and we're gonna provide a swath of songs from his entire catalog, from the first album to the last album.
Well, and one thing that it's unfortunate that it happens this way, but that's just the way it goes. And I find myself in this category is there's people that started diving into the catalog upon his passing. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have some people, you know, when we say 21 plus, I wouldn't be shocked if you have young people coming in that just are brand new to John Prine and what his flavor of music was, what he brought to the audience. And again, I bring myself in that category. I knew John Prine, but I didn't really know the catalog until it was too late and he was gone.
Yeah. So can I ask, what was that like when you just dove in? What was the first experiences?
It was one refreshing, but then just also eye-opening to the uniqueness of the way he was able to bring a melody in just what you had heard right now to a rhythm that you didn't expect to be there. But he found a way to stitch together the story in a way that just drew your attention in. I'm one of those where I kind of kick myself for not knowing John Prine prior to.
Yeah. So the way he could literally paint the imagery of an entire story through simplicity is beauty in itself, I believe.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way of putting it. And that's really what it is. It's the storytelling in musical form that certainly he had honed in during his time, performing. So I'm curious, how do you, as somebody who's clearly a fan, how do you capture that and bring that in a tribute to John Prine? I know because I question when it comes to covers versus when somebody's really just, trying to do it as close as possible to what that original artist was. What can people expect of that tonight, Pat?
Well, that goes with a longer answer than a few words. I can remember my life prior to and after my first John Prine song, and I was forever changed. John really helped me connect with my passion, my honesty, my sense of purpose with music to connect with that. I aligned with that immediately, and what you can expect is just a lot of passion. Maybe some tears, honestly. It's an emotional subject. Prine was one of my greatest mentors musically ever. So,
well, that'll probably present itself on stage, and I think that'll come through for the audience as well. And like I say, when I know of people that are coming from as far away as Bismarck is the latest I had heard, they're fans as well, and they probably had a connection in some shape or form to John Prine, maybe without even meeting him. So you've got that captive audience coming this way, and I think that's just great. And this venue, have you ever performed at the Fargo Brewing?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to play multiple times now, and top notch. The renovation Fargo Brewing has done is just astounding. It's a wonderful music club that they have built. Yeah,
that's right. I've heard great reviews ever since they decided to do that addition. And when they bring in something like this, there's going to be a lot of eyes, a lot of people coming through that door, perhaps for the first time. I have no doubt it won't be their last time once they get there. Pat, again, the doors open at 7 o'clock, shows at 8 o'clock. 21 plus, it's only $12. Tickets, well, I sound like they're getting limited, so you're going to want to get up there and enjoy this. What else did I miss about this or just about your time? I know the last time I had you on, that was during the pandemic, and I know you're doing some online stuff because we couldn't get together in person.
Right.
I'm glad we're past that, my friend. I really am.
Yeah, me too. It's fun to play for people in a room, to connect with them. Aside from the music that we can all celebrate together, which we will, I got a bunch of killers on stage. It's the Tom Petskamp, actually, from the Moody River Band, contacted everybody. He's the one that was the magnet with this. And we got Keaton Will on piano. Not only is he virtuoso on guitar, but he's astounding on piano. We got Matt Johnson coming up and doing a song. We got the Sardine Brothers going to do a couple of acoustic tunes here and there. We got a cast here, and we're all really proud. We've been practicing a ton, and we just loving. It's been like a reunion of sorts, just reviewing the catalog.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a fun time. I have no doubt. So. Don't put the kids to bed early. Make sure they have the babysitters there because people are going to want to be hanging around because you're going to be having a great time and they're not going to want to leave is what I'm guessing, Pat.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
My man, I know you're busy up there setting up. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to join us to get people hyped up, and I have no doubt you're going to have a great time tonight. We'll chat again soon, all right?
Tyler, thanks a lot. Hey, next time I'll come in the studio and play some songs. How about that?
That sounds like a hell of a good idea. I'll save this seat for you, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank
all
you,
right,
man.
yeah, you take care. Pat Leonard's band. Well, tonight, they're playing all your songs, a tribute to John Prine. Be my friend tonight. Again, $12, 21 plus. That is important. Doors open at 7. Show at 8 p.m. Play a little Prine for you on the way into the last weather update from Too Tall Tom Schmansky. We'll wrap up Afternoons Live for the week right after this.
Things I can't forget.
Boy, Pops, we made it to the end of another work week, and boy, it has been a week. I think we've earned this one. Kick back and enjoy.